Overseas of veterans arrested for holding 2 government ministers hostage will appear today at the Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Court for bail application. The 13 were not granted bail with the others. The state has told the court that they have previous convictions ranging from robbery to murder. Our reporter Ofentse Setimo is following this story. A very good morning to you, Ofentse. What's happening outside the Kgosi Mampuru this morning?
Thank you very much, Desiree. Well, what I can tell you is that some of the members of the military veterans that are sympathizing against the 11 that will be actually hearing their bail application today are starting to trickle in outside the Kgosi Mampuru correctional facilities where we are now. And what I can tell you is that out of the 11 that will be hearing the case today, prosecution decided to separate it from the 42 that were actually granted a 500 because the ones that are appearing today have pending serious matters ranging from rape, ranging from kidnapping, and even murder. There's actually one of the suspects who's actually out on parole for murder. So prosecution decided that because they have such serious cases pending against them, they should separate them against the 42 who were actually granted bail. Now the 42 were actually granted bail because their addresses, some of the 42, their addresses could be verified, and some, even though their addresses could not be verified, they had pending cases against them but were minor cases. Hence the state decided to expedite their bail application so that they can remain with the 11 that are actually outstanding to hear their bail. In fact, the state has said that this bail application has to be a Schedule 5, whereas the 42 appeared in a Schedule 1 bail application as they didn't have very serious pending cases against them. So the 11 will actually hear their fate today as to whether they will be granted a bail under the circumstances where, you know, they have pending serious cases and even their addresses have not yet been verified. Desiree.
Is there, as you speak of the support that's coming through, is that massive support, or, as you say, is just trickling in?
Yes, well, the court is expected to begin at 10 o'clock. So I think the guys from the military veterans camp are actually privy as to the times as to when this case will actually start. But from what we've seen, there's been 2 minibus taxis that actually dropped off some people. We have to still establish as to whether they are members of the military veterans. But I can see some guys dressed in green regalia, which might be some of the veterans. We'll actually speak to them before the court case actually starts, just to get a sentiment. And from what we understand, this came from a meeting of the 14th of October where Minister in the presidency Mondli Gungubele and Defense Minister Thandi Modise and her deputy Thabang Makwetla actually met with the veterans to try and address issues pertaining to, you know, their remuneration, their kids, scholar funding and the like. So when they saw that the president and the deputy president were in absentia, that's when they decided that the meeting can no longer go on. And as the minister in the presidency, Mondli Gungubele, was chairing that meeting, he decided that since the meeting is not proceeding, they can cut it off and then the meeting can proceed once the military veterans are willing to engage. Then at that point, that's when the military veterans decided that no one is going to leave, and then they held the ministers hostage. Hence we are here today. 42 have been granted bail of 500 rands, and the 11 with pending serious cases are yet to hear their fate here at the Kgosi Mampuru Regional Court today.
Ofentse, hope for an update later on, around about 10, you say? Ofentse Setimo there speaking to us from outside the Kgosi Mampuru prison facility.